Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatadi Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So devotees, without much further ado, let's just get into the parikrams. And today we are doing the blessings of Lord Chaitanya. So we see that in order to get to Vrindavan, we need to get the blessings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Mayapur. So we'll start there. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikanta Radhakanta Namaste Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhubhevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, dear devotees, for those who have joined in for the first time, you can unmute, at least you can mute yourselves so that we don't get an interruption. And also, last week we spoke about the mood of entering the holy dhams, and today we're going to speak about Mayapur and the blessings of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So before we go to Vrindavan, we need to get the blessings of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Mayapur. So there's a nice verse in the Garud Puran that explains Sadhavakadi Kaletu Vrindavanyam Sevatirthanam Vrindavanya Tatat Kshetra Navadvipam Shantimba. In the age of Kali, people will abandon all other holy places and live in Vrindavan and Navadvip Dham or Mayapur. And in the Parthana, Narottam Das Thakur says that there's no difference between Gaur Mandala and Vrindavan Dham. So these two places are identical in that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Radha and Krishna, but he is the most merciful, right? And in this age of Kali, we take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before we worship Radha and Krishna. So therefore, we are starting this parikram in Mayapur before we go to Vrindavan. And it is being stated, this has been taken out from my Guru Maharaj's classes. So I would just like to explain a little. In such a yuga, the Kurukshetra was said to be the most important holy place. So basically, in such a yuga, people did meditation and they went to Kurukshetra to meditate at that holy place, right? And in Treta Yuga, Pushkar was said to be the most important holy place, Pushkar. So basically, I've been to Kurukshetra and I've been to Pushkar as well on Srila Gurudev's parikrams, and very beautiful places. At Kurukshetra, you can actually, because Bhagavad Gita is being recited there 24 hours a day, every day, Bhagavad Gita is being recited at Kurukshetra. So it's a very holy tirtha. And also what happened at Kurukshetra was that the battle of Kurukshetra, the Bhagavad Gita was spoken there. So therefore the Bhagavad Gita is being always recited at Kurukshetra. And it was so beautiful to see the place where the Pandavas were fighting, and especially Bhishma Dev, that area where he lay on the bed of arrows, like that. So very beautiful. And then Pushkar is actually said to be the only place where like Brahma has a temple, and nowhere else does he have a temple. So I've been to Pushkar as well. And in Dwapar Yuga, Naimisharanya was the most important place. Naimisharanya is the place where the sages were performing sacrifices in order to what would I say, stall the age of Kali Yuga from creeping in. But it so happened that their faces were getting blackened with the smoke of all the sacrifices, the yagyas they were doing, and then eventually they said this is of no use. This Kali Yuga is already setting in. Right? And in Kali Yuga, Navadvip Dham or Mayapur is said to be the most important place. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared there. Right? Let's talk about that a little later. The Skanda Purana says those who in Kali Yuga take shelter of Mayapur and worship me becomes free from all sins and attains the supreme destination. We see that many devotees have dedicated their lives for staying in Mayapur, since its inception, since the time that ISKCON was established in Mayapur. And one of the great stalwart devotees that's still there is Jayapataka Maharaj, and he is doing immense preaching in Mayapur, going out to the villages, going by boats, across the Ganges, and actually preaching this message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? And we see that Srila Jiva Goswami was asked to leave Mayapur Dham, or Navadvip Dham. Nava means 9 and Dvip means island. So the 9 islands of Navadvip, and Mayapur is situated on one of the islands. I forget which one now. I think it's Antaradvip, but I must just check that out. And in this way, he was asked to leave and go and preach. And he didn't want to do that because he was very attached to Navadvip Dham. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Ichatara Mayapura Kale Ichu Uchi Sanatana Rupa Mayura Janjala. Right? So Rupa Goswami was thinking, I want to stay in Mayapur forever because here no material miseries can actually affect me. Right? And the material miseries are completely dispelled. So the order of the Lord is basically a very great order. It is coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one has to take heed of this, that actually we need to there is some disturbance here. Maybe Veronica Pandey, maybe you can mute yourself, please, because there's some disturbance. Thank you. So I was talking about Jiva Goswami not wanting to leave Mayapur Dham. But because the Lord asked him to go out and preach, and Srila Gurudev says that the only time one has to leave Mayapur Dham is because of preaching. Otherwise, one should stay at this holy place. So we may not have taken birth in the Mayapur Dham, and most ISKCON devotees have actually went and settled in India and in the holy dhams in this way. But we are not so fortunate to live in the dham, but Srila Prabhupada has created these dhams all over the world so we can go and take shelter at the temples of ISKCON, and in this way get the same benefit of going to the holy tirthas. So therefore Jiva Goswami, he did not want to part. And we can see that George Eliot, he basically, I'll just quote something from him. He says that only in the agony of parting, we look to the depths of love. So, most recently, His Holiness Kadamba Swami has left us, and we feel his separation. Personally, I miss Bhakti Tirtha Swami, Bhakti Charu Swami, and more recently, uh, Kadamba Swami. So all these stalwart devotees have left us, have left our presence, right? And I think they've gone to preach somewhere else, or they may have gone back home, back to Godhead, right? So we feel separation from the stalwart devotees. When devotees leave us, then we realize how much we actually miss them and appreciate them, you know. And in this way, even though they may not be present with us, but we can pray to them. We can pray to them like this so that we can receive their blessings. So one should not think that, because the spiritual master has left, he doesn't know what's going on. No, he still knows what's going on with the disciples, right? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took his birth in Mayapur, and we see that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, he actually constructed a temple there at the Yoga Pith, right? And so later on, after this class, we'll be sharing some photos, and I will be explaining each photo what's going on there, right? When he took his birth in Mayapur, it was the lunar eclipse, and everyone in the Ganga was, because whenever there's an eclipse, then people go into the Ganga and they chant the holy names of God. So this is what the residents of Mayapur were doing. They went into the Ganga and they were chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hari, Hari, Krishna, Krishna, Vishnu, Vishnu. So they were calling out all these names of the Lord. And so much so that the Muslims who were around, they started imitating the cries of the Hindus, and calling out the different names of God, and they were making fun and mocking like this, but they were chanting the holy names of Krishna. So you see how Lord Chaitanya got everyone to chant the his holy names when he was taking his birth. So this is the power of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And these names resounded throughout the three worlds, right? Just by calling out these names of Krishna, they resounded throughout the three worlds. And we'll see that even Nimai, when he was a child, and he would cry, and the ladies, they wanted to pacify him, and they would try everything in the book, right, to try to pacify Nimai, but he wouldn't stop crying. And then one lady got an idea. Let me chant the names. I'm like, I cannot control this now. I cannot handle this child. Let me just, call out Vishnu for the Lord to actually assist us. And then when she started chanting the names of Krishna, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he stopped crying. Right? So this was his way of getting everyone to chant his holy names by crying. And every time he would do that, he would cry, and then when the ladies come and they would chant the holy names, he would stop crying. So this is one of his leelas, right? This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's leelas. And in the Adi Leela, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I will personally come and inaugurate the religion for this age, Nam Sankirtan, right? So that everybody can chant the holy names in congregationally chant the holy names and get the benefits. And we see in the 11th canto this nice verse, Krishna Varnam Tushe Krishna Sangopanga Saparshadam Yage Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Hi Sumedrishnaham. The Lord comes, right, singing his own holy, sweet names, surrounded by his devotees. He is not blackish, but has assumed the golden hue. He has, he hasn't come with weapons. His weapon is his beauty, just by his beauty, people used to get subdued, how beautiful the Lord is. And who is this personality? They would inquire like that. So in this way, when he would chant, everybody would chant with him, right? And he will inaugurate the chanting of the holy names throughout, basically, throughout India, right? He went from the north to the south like this, chanting the holy names, and everybody was attracted to this chanting of the holy names. Uh, and this verse says, "Yajanti hi sume saha," that only the intelligent persons will take up to this process of chanting the holy names, right? And if you consider yourself intelligent, then you should chant the holy names, right? So in this age, only the intelligent persons will take up the chanting of the holy names. For much of his youth, he was a scholar, debating with different pundits and defeating them, right? And then he would defeat his own arguments. He would make an argument, right? And he would defeat his own arguments. And like big Digvijayas were very scholarly, and they would have like a contest of debating on the scriptures or on anything, and in this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nimai Pandit, um, he would basically defeat all of them, right? People were coming from all over India and to become his students. And we see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Even the Chaitanya Bhagavat, is saying that, he was so arrogant as a scholar that when the devotees saw him coming in one way, from the Ganges, they would make a U-turn and go the other way, because Lord Chaitanya Lord Nimai Pandit was so arrogant. Before he can actually reveal himself as the Supreme Lord, he was a scholar, and that's like the materialistic scholar, just debating on language and on all of these things. So Sanskrit, basically. And in this way, it is once Murari Gupta, he came and he was talking to the Lord as Nimai Pandit. And Nimai Pandit told him, because Murari Gupta is none other than Hanuman, right? And in this, as Murari Gupta, he was a physician, like he was a physician in that he would make like Ayurvedic medicine like that to cure the people. And so there was some argument, and he lost the argument with Nimai Pandit. So Nimai Pandit said, go back to your roots and herbs and cure everyone. Don't try to argue with me. So in this way we see how arrogant Nimai Pandit was, right? As a scholar. And so this is his pastimes, basically. This is the Lord's pastimes. And the devotees would actually tell him, Nimai Pandit, why are you wasting your time doing all this scholarly things? Just worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Worship Vishnu. And, in this way, you will get so much of benefit. And he wouldn't adhere to their requests like that. So we see that the Lord's pastimes are so vast and so numerous. There's numerous pastimes of the Lord, right? And it is being stated in the Bible, John 24 and 25. But there are also other things that Jesus wanted to reveal. So vast a number indeed. If all were to be described in detail, I suppose that world itself could not contain the books that would have been written. So this is the vast, because Krishna's glories are unlimited, right? It has been described that as there are waves in the ocean, so too are the glories of the Lord. And Anantashesh, with his thousands of heads, he cannot actually, with his thousands of mouths, cannot stop glorifying the Supreme Lord, right? So he's always glorifying the Supreme Lord. And when he came as a Chana avatar. He did not reveal himself, right? As a hidden incarnation. And only a few people knew. That was Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur, knew who he was. The rest didn't, because it took time for him to reveal who he was. And we see this, and until and unless he revealed his Mahaprakash Leela. When he revealed his Mahaprakash Leela, then only to his intimate disciples, the devotees, did he reveal who he was, and he showed each one the form that they worshipped him in. He would reveal that form to them, right? That's another story. That's another whole pastime on its own. And maybe sometime in the future we can recite about that pastime. We shall just take one pastime from the Lord's pastimes and describe it to you. So once the Lord told his wife, Lakshmi Priya, that, I will go out to teach now. And then he crossed the river and he went to East Bengal, that is now Bangladesh, right? Bangladesh is not part of India. Now it has been divided because the British, they divided Bangladesh into two parts, East Bengal and West Bengal. East Bengal was basically is where the Muslim community live, and West Bengal is where the devotees or the Hindus lived, right? So they divided the community there. And on his journey, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived to a river that divides East and West Bengal, and it's called the Padma River. The devotees, when they reached the Padma River, it was crystal clear and many lotuses and fish. And, they were mesmerized by the beauty of the Padma River. It was like an amazing phenomenon to look at. When he put his feet in, it became sanctified as much as the river Ganga. Many sacred rivers in India have different levels of potency. We see that Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, right? They have different levels of potency. And it is being described that when you bathe in the Ganga, then all your sins are relieved. Also in the Yamuna, so the Saraswati is basically no longer with us. She actually, when Kali Yuga set in, she actually went underground. So she's actually underground, right? She doesn't flow on the top. So, but Ganga is famous because it emanated from the lotus feet of the Lord, from Lord Vamanadev. So most of you may know the story, the pastime of Lord Vamanadev, and how he wanted 3 steps of land from Bali Maharaj, who was the king of the demons, and but he was very charitable to the Brahmanas, and the Lord took the form of a dwarf Brahmana, and he went to Bali Maharaj and begged 3 paces of land. So as a dwarf, how much land can your feet cover? And Bali Maharaj told him, if you want 3 paces of land, I got the whole, world, the whole universe. And you're asking me 3 paces of land. Please ask something more. And the Lord said, no, if I'm not satisfied with 3 paces of land, then I will never be satisfied. So I only request 3 paces of land. And so Bali Maharaj said, so be it, tatastu. And then we see the Lord expanded himself, and with his 1 step, he covered the entire world. With his 2nd step, he pierced the coverings of the material coverings of this universe. And we see that, it went to the outer layers of this universe, and that's where Ganga was, started to flow from his toes. And she fell to this earth planet, whereby Lord Shiva was meditating on Kailash. He held the force of Ganga on his head. So this is how Ganga emanated, right? And we know in the Yamuna, basically Lord Krishna had his pastimes, and he would also frolic in and roll, swim in the Ganga, in the Yamuna, with his friends and with the gopis like this. So similarly, the Lord put his feet in the Padma River, and she became all auspicious. She attained the same status as Ganga. Ganga flows past our temple in Mayapur. It's just like a few meters away from Mayapur, and during the floods, she comes and she touches the lotus feet of the Lord. So during the floods in Mayapur, Ganga overflows her banks and she enters up the temple, and uh, there is the first, when you enter the temple at first, it's Radha Madhava, right? And the Astasakis. So the Lord comes, the Ganga comes and she flows, and she tries to reach, although the altar is high, but she fills up the whole temple, and she tries to reach the feet of the Lord, and most of the time she succeeds, right? And then we have Nishingadev also, and then we have Panchatattva as well. So in this way, Ganga comes to embrace the feet of the Lord. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he stayed at the banks of the Padma River, and so many students came to hear from Nimai Pandit, and to receive knowledge. He stayed for many months, and a scholar by the name of Tapan Mishra, he was a spiritual seeker, and he was always looking as to, knowledge of the absolute truth. But it so happened that Tapan Mishra, he had no knowledge of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being there, or Nimai Pandit being there. It was like towards the end that he actually he was informed about Nimai Pandit being at the banks of the Padma. And it is being described that although he was seeking spiritual knowledge, he did not know the goal of life, what the goal of life is. So he prayed to the Lord earnestly to please show him the way. And so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the Lord within the heart, who is Krishna, right, actually gave him knowledge, that what to do. So, we too, when we are seeking, we are speaking spiritual knowledge, we are seeking, we are praying to the Lord earnestly, then the Lord from within the heart, he reveals to us, yes, go to the Hare Krishna temple, buy this book, read it, become enlightened. So just by the touching one of Srila Prabhupada's books, we become enlightened in spiritual knowledge like this. So too, Tapan Mishra, he was praying to the Lord earnestly to please show him the way. And then, it is being described that Krishna directs you. And then in his dream, he had a divine personality that appeared to him in his dream and told him to go and see the Lord on the bank of the Padma River. So we see that dreams are spiritual, and they're called Dvija Spurti, right? Dvija Spurti. So these are divine dreams. And he and his wife went and they paid full dandavats to Nimai Pandit, and because they got this dream, and they followed their hearts. They went to the Padma River. They saw Nimai Pandit and they paid obeisances. And in this way, they got the mercy of the Lord. So When one has loyum or greed for Krishna, you know, that is how Krishna will actually reveal himself to you. We see that Lord Kunti Devi in the Srimad Bhagavatam, she prays that one can only approach the Lord when he is materially exhausted, and he prays with sincere feeling. Right? So, although he did not reveal who he was, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not reveal who he was to Tapan Mishra, because at this time he was just Nimai Pandit, the scholar, right? But he gave a very important instruction to Tapan Mishra, and he told him, you should go and live in Varanasi. So this is a higher plan of the Lord, because the Varanasi is basically engulfed with students of the Mayavad school. So why did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tell Tapan Mishra to go and live in Varanasi? Because the Lord had a higher plan, right? So in time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took sannyas, and then he, in time he went to Varanasi, and there also, he stayed in the house of Tapan Mishra when he went to Varanasi, and we see that he defeated the Mayavad scholars, especially Prakashananda Saraswati, and all his followers became devotees. So he converted them into devotees from the Mayavad school, impersonalism, to personalism, where God has a form, and one should concentrate on the form of the Lord, like this. So it is being described that, although we may not want, sometimes the spiritual master gives us an instruction and we may not want to follow that instruction, but by having full faith in the spiritual master, it is being described that all imports of the Vedas will be revealed to you. So one should make the instructions of the spiritual master one's life and soul. This is the secret to success. And we see that Srila Prabhupada in the purport of this verse, he quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that says that the order of the spiritual master should be the life and soul of the devotee, as one cannot separate the soul from the body. If the disciple follow the spiritual master, in that way he is sure to become a perfect disciple. The disciple always feel unqualified in the association of the spiritual master. So we find that there's a room conversation wherein Srila Prabhupada is speaking to one of his devotees, and Revatinandana Prabhu, and he told Srila Prabhupada, so this is quote Revatinandana Prabhu, you must be a very high Prabhupada on the Paramahamsa stage. And Srila Prabhupada says, no, I'm lower than you. And Revatinanda Prabhu said, no, you are so beautiful. You are the Paramahamsa, but you're still preaching to us. And Srila Prabhupada said, no, I am lower than you. I am lower than all creatures. I am simply trying to execute the order of my spiritual master. That's all. So basically, he says that should be the business of everyone. Try to the best to execute the higher order. That is the safest way of progressing. One may be on the lowest stage, but if one tries to execute the duties entrusted upon him, then he is perfect. That is my consideration. Right? So we see that Prabhupada is taking a very low position, and he's saying, I'm lower than you, by his humility, and to preach to us how not to actually become puffed up and and let our false ego override us, but we should take the humble position, lower than the straw in the street, right? And in this way, we should follow the order of the spiritual master with our life and soul. So this is a very deep instruction that Srila Prabhupada is giving us. So let's just go back to Nimai Pandit. Thereby, after that, Nimai Pandit embraced the Panmishra. And when he did that, you know, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is filled with love of God. So that rubbed off onto Tapan Mishra, and his hair stood on end, and tears started flowing from his eyes. But he was experiencing these ecstatic symptoms. So he told Nimai Pandit about the dream, and Nimai told Tapan Mishra that, you know, all that he dreamt about would come true. So Tapan Mishra didn't get the opportunity to see Lord Chaitanya, in Srivas Angan, where he would dance. Do we have his Naga Sankirtan? He would dance the whole night through. He didn't get that opportunity, and he didn't get many opportunities of the Sankirtan movement that started in Mayapur itself. He didn't get that opportunity, but he followed the order of Lord Chaitanya, and he went to Varanasi, right? And we see that later on, Lord Chaitanya went to Varanasi and converted Prakashananda Saraswati and his thousands of disciples. So Srila Gurudev says that we weren't present when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here, right? And some of us weren't present when Srila Prabhupada was here. But we are performing the modern day pastimes of the Lord, right? And how is that we are performing the modern day pastimes of the Lord? Although we haven't seen Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we haven't seen Srila Prabhupada, but just by reading these books of Srila Prabhupada, we're actually taking up the responsibility of spreading the holy names, spreading Krishna consciousness. So this is the modern day pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's still going on by the process of devotional service, Hari Nam Sankirtan, chanting the holy names of the Lord on the streets and getting other people engaged in chanting the holy names of the Lord. So in Mayapur, the TOVP is actually being constructed, right? And it will spread the glories of Lord Chaitanya far and wide, all over the world. So we should also try to assist in this attempt of building this and maintaining the TOVP. The TOVP actually means the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, where it's a very beautiful temple that is being constructed by the devotees, and especially by Ambarish Maharaj, who is none other than one of the sons of the Ford, the Ford company. Henry Ford was his father. So he basically, he's actually trying to, and he's also collecting money from all over the world to put this project on, giving all the devotees an opportunity to contribute to this wonderful project. So we'll just end now with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, where he says, from the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent, he gave out the gifts of prema to the sinners, to the ascetics, to the drunkards, to the rogues and thieves, who were very grateful to him, completely abandoned, where they completely abandoned all sinful enjoyment as if it was a deadly poison, and intoxicated, very loudly chanted the holy names of Krishna until they sank exhausted into the ocean of Krishna prema. So this is the last quote that I would like to end with by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And we actually took you on this parikram now to Navadvip, to Yoga Pit, where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, our beautiful temple. This photo that I have on the advert here is Prabhupada Samadhi in Mayapur. So we'll go on to Paramatma Prabhu, who can share some of the pictures. Prabhu, can you share those pictures that I sent to you? Is it possible?
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I didn't have a look at it. Let me check now.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, there we have it, the Padma River. Right, this is where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to preach in East Bengal, and there he touched the Padma River. And we see later on that Narottam Das, he deposited his prem in that river, and he told Padma, the Padma River, the personification of Padma River, that in future my devotee would come and he would he would bathe in this river, and you must give him this Krishna Prem. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he deposited Krishna Prem into the Padma River, and later on when Narottam Das Thakur was, when he came to the Padma River, and that's when he received love of God from Padmavati, the Padma River, right? The next picture. Oh, these are our complexes in Mayapur, right? You see here, beautiful view of ISKCON Temple, Mayapur, West Bengal. So these are the residential quarters that the devotees live in. The one at the on the top is the long building, and we normally, when I go to Mayapur, I normally stay there in the long building. And yeah, so these are the complexes in Mayapur, very beautiful. Next problem. This is Yoga Pith. This is where Lord Chaitanya was born, under this neem tree, right? And yeah, it's actually the temple there was constructed by the Gaudiya Math, by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj and his disciples. So yeah, so this is not very far from our ISKCON temple. Next picture. This is the Vedic planet, TOVP, the Vedic Planetarium, right? So the Vedic Planetarium is going to have, as its name is suggests, Vedic Planetarium. It's going to have the whole Vedic planetarium, the whole planetary systems basically displayed, right? As you walk into the temple, you would see the whole Vedic Planetarium. The different planetary systems and how they're ascending. like that. So it's huge. It's going, and it can actually house 10,000 people. So it's still under construction, and hopefully, you know, by 2024 it should be ready. Next picture. Oh, this is the Radhamadava and the Astasakis, right? Let's try and get a better view of them. So the Astasakis. Next picture, Paul. This is the Panchatattva. Can you see? These are huge, 7 feet tall deities of the Panchatattva. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle, and Lord Nityananda in blue. Then we have Gadadhar Pandit in the pink, and Advaita Acharya in white, right? On the side, next to Lord Nityananda. So yes. Next picture, Prabhu. Oh, this is the Samadhi of Srila Prabhupada, right? Some of his things are here. It's like more like a museum. There's some of the things that Prabhupada used are kept here in the Samadhi. Okay, I think, is that all?
That's it, Mari. Yes, Mari, that's it.
So for those of you who didn't go to Mayapur, I'm just giving you a preview of the temple, and then maybe at some point we can, when you go to Mayapur, then you can actually see all these wonderful places. So I will stop there. If anyone of you would like to share something, or you have any questions, you're most welcome to do so now. Hare Krishna. You can unmute. Siyabonga, Prabhu, yes. Look at your hand up.
Yes. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I did not
Hare
see
Krishna,
the
go on.
I did not see the pictures before the Shira before the place where there are temple, there are things of Shira Prabhupada. Can you go back to them?
Okay, maybe later on after the question and answer. Sadhika Mataji,
Okay.
you have your hand up. Sadhika Mataji. Okay, Nayam
You know,
Manjari, you have.
Haribol, I have a question.
Yes, Mataji.
The Padma River, whereabouts is it? Where does it flow from, and where is it situated?
It's in Bengal. It's in East Bengal, Bangladesh. It's in Bangladesh, actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
it
Thank you.
separates. So Bangladesh. So if you've been to Mayapur, you would know there's Navadvip, right? The 9 islands, and then there's Bangladesh on the other end, on the other side. So the East Bank, and we are on the west side of the Padma River. So we are on the west side. So that's why it's called West Bengal, Mayapur in West Bengal. Yeah.
Okay. So from Mayapur, can you see it flowing?
From Mayapur, I don't think you can see it, but you can it's the Ganga that flows in Mayapur. But when you go to the east side, then you can see the Padma River.
Okay. Thank you. Haribol.
Haribol. Naina Manjari, she had a hand up. She left already. Anyone else? Shami?
Hare Krishna, thank you for a lovely class. I just have a question. So when senior devotees like Maharajas, when they leave their body, we spoke earlier on, they go somewhere and they preach. Where do they go to and preach? Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, it's their desire, they desire that they want to go to where Prabhupada is, and if Prabhupada is preaching, in another universe, then they would accompany him there. So wherever Prabhupada is, they would go there. And yes, so if their heart's desire is to carry on preaching, then this is not the only universe. There are many universes. Like in Krishna book, we see that this Brahma is the smallest Brahma because he only has 4 heads, but in other universes has hundreds of heads, thousands of heads, millions of heads. So there are universes that are much bigger than our universe, and most probably they go there. So
So they
yeah,
so they're in the mode of serving, like.
this is all part of the material world,
Hmm.
So this is the material world. Yeah, if you want to preach, then you have to be in the material world to preach. Praise the Lord. All right.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for that.
Okay. Paramatma Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maji, nothing from my side, but thank you so much for giving us a glimpse into the holy Dham. Thank you.
Okay. Prabhu, maybe you can share those pictures now because Ranga Prabhu wasn't here. So maybe you can share
Okay,
the
Maj.
pictures.
I did share it on the WhatsApp as well.
Oh, okay. Prabhu, is it fine? Maybe you can have a look at it on the WhatsApp.
Yes, it is
Ranga?
fine. Thank you. Yes, it's fine.
All right. So thank you all very much. Vanchakalpatrubhescha kripasinthibhevcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Oh, Masaji,
Thank
thank you. Thank you,
Krishna.
dear
Hare
Thank you, everyone.
Krishna.
Masaji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, Dandava Pranam. Thank you very much.